Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau with you as we kick off another nine race card here on a beautiful Thursday in Hollandale Beach. You can see the weather is perfect. The fast main track, a firm turf course, Tapeta as well. We'd love to see you out here as we kick off. We bridge the gap to another big weekend here. Grade 3 on Saturday in the Royal Delta, but beautiful day here in South Florida, and Rainbow Six it's getting big already now. $225,000 in the estimated jackpot there. That's going to kick off in race 4, a tricky sequence, and Ron Nicoletti's got a ticket for you coming up a little bit, and pretty solid card today, and the weather's beautiful. So we tip on 11-11. We'll make a wish for some winners here today. We'll kick off this early pick 5 in the opener as well. We're about 59 minutes to first post. The pools, they bet well over $250,000 in the early pick 5 yesterday. See no reason why it would be any different today, and we'll take a look at my ticket. A couple scratches along the way. Nothing really important, at least on my end, which is always good, but I did have a few fringe contenders that came out of this early pick 5. We'll take a look at it now. My best bet is right in the opener here, and that's the One Subtle Faith. You can see that there. In race number 2, we'll go 3 deep with the top pick down in the inside, the 1 Legendary Phantom, gelding, and Lasix today. In race number 3, the top pick is the 3 Eastside Cool. Race number 4, another single was going to be my best bet, but I opted for race number 1, but Surrogate is certainly going to be a short number there for Bobby DeBona. And in race number 5, that's a little bit of a spread, and it's got my long shot, and I don't think we won't get that price anymore. I mean, I don't want to see the 3 Sword of Honor a long shot anymore, because that would not be a good sign. But with a couple of key scratches, including his favored stablemate in that race, Sword of Honor now becomes one of the ones in there on an $18 early pick 5. Let's get to this opener, and I kind of already alluded to it. It is my best bet of the day in the opener, which is 6 furlongs on a fast main track. It's a 6250 2L, fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races. You can see the scratch, long shot scratch of the 7 Gracia, and my best bet is down on the inside. Subtle Faith, who was in for 12-5 last time and just didn't work out. A pretty fast race for the level, so Nick Palmer takes this one now. Daughter of Speitster to the bottom, and you look at her races 2 and 3 back, and they just lay over this field, and I just think, the inside post could be a little tricky, but Leonel Reyes will work something out from down in there, and I think if Subtle Faith is still okay and she runs back to one of those 2 races, she's going to bottom out this field. There's just not a lot in here, and there's just not a lot to trust either. I think that's the other thing about it. The 6, Vingativa, for Kathleen O'Connell. I mean, this is one of kind of Samantha's angles, and she should be back with us tomorrow. Never tried the main track. It's kind of interesting, but the angle is the first time over a new surface. Typically, you can bring out a horse's best. Kathleen O'Connell, in her we trust. She's going to run this Daughter of Balabali on the main track for the first time. Had some speed sprinting on the Tapeta. Maybe we can spice things up underneath a little bit at what should be a decent little price. And then 4, Tovia for Jorge Delgado. Certainly in the mix and has some speed and has run okay on the main track, but hasn't seen it out of late, and we'll see what we get today. But, Subtle Faith is clearly, to me, the one to beat, and that's why we kick off the opener and rip the Band-Aid right off with my best bet. Race number 2, we'll go 5 furlongs on the Tapeta here. These are $35,000 maiden claimers. We do have a scratch of the 5, Guau, and the big scratch is the 8, Simpson. So 2 horses that we're going to take plenty of money. 53 points on the morning line are out, so anybody you like in here comes way, way down, unfortunately. And it does kick off the early pick 4 as well. Samantha updated her ticket. Let's take a look at it now and see what she's got working here in this early pick 4. Just a $4.50 play for Samantha. I love these kind of plays because you can punch it a few times, especially if you have strong opinions, and you can see that's exactly what she has in race 3 and race 5. A couple of singles in there, and then 3x3 around them. That's just a $4.50 play, and like I said, you can punch that a few times. You turn $4.50 into $70, $80, and then you're off to the races. You got money for later on in the card, and that's what we'll try to do here. The good news for me is, I didn't lose my top pick. I always did have the 1 Legendary Phantom on top. Now the price is long gone. Not going to get anywhere near $7 to $9 on this one, but maiden special weight dropper, First time gelding, first time Lasix. And Mike Trombetta's had a very, very strong championship meet. He won a stakes on the turf earlier on, and Trombo reaches for Paco here, which I think is a big sign as well. They're 40% together, and I know some of that's in the Mid-Atlantic and at Monmouth, but they're 31% right here at Gulfstream Park. So when Trombo reaches for Paco, it's go time. Now, he'll have to work out something from down there, or maybe he just sends this gelded son now of American Pharaoh. But I think Legendary Phantom, even before the scratches, but certainly now after the scratches, is in a pretty salty spot here. Gibran, I think, is interesting, and he's probably finally doing maybe what he's wanted to do all along, and that's sprint on the Tapeta. I thought he ran okay last time routing, got thrown to the wolves there a little bit, but now on the Tapeta, sprinting for the first time. Blinkers in Lasix as well. I think Lauren Robson's got a real chance here to pick up a W, and I think he's clearly the main danger. You could argue he's even the horse to beat in here, being the fact that he's drawn outside of Legendary Phantom. From there, I'm going to put Insisting, if you saw my early ticket. I did move him up to the top line because these Bacheros have been running. They are really good on Tapeta. And Insisting, a firster for Jose D'Angelo, not really the MO of the barn, just 8%. But this post works here. Luis Saez is here as well. And like I said, the Bucheros really, really take to the Tapeta. So I'm going to put him in there. It didn't cost me that much extra, and I lost a couple picks that I had. So we'll move up Insisting, but he might need one, as typically the Jose runners tend to do. Race number 3, we go a one-turn mile on a fast main track here. These are 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 or a race since August 15th. I do want to note the 6 Gilded Age is a regular Lasix user, so he will be running with Lasix today. He's also got blinkers going on. Very tough race. You could go really any number of different ways. I'm going to come to Sandino Hernandez with the 3 East Side Cool. Tepid favorite on the morning line. I admittedly had difficulty making the line in this race. You could bet any of these 6. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Longest shot on the line is 6-1. It's a blanket race. I'll try with East Side Cool. Didn't like, at least I hope, didn't like the 2 turns at Tampa last time. Now, there are 3 of them coming out of that race. I'm just going to hope that he didn't like it last time, because you look at the 1-turn, 1-mile form here at Gulfstream, 2 and 3 back, very solid against better groups today. Barn and white hot. Everything Sandino Hernandez has sent out at the championship meet has been live and running. Luis Saez is here. The blinkers come off, so maybe we're not in a big hurry today either. And I'm just going to try and hope that the cutback today works for East Side Cool. I don't really like 5-2. I don't really want to take a short number in a race like this, but this has been a barn that's been pretty good to me, so I'll go with it. Sir Ali, don't know what to make of him. He was my best bet 2 back. He wasn't very good. He ran much better last time. Now we're going to go off the claim for Brittany Vandenberg. That's solid enough. That's a 15% angle in here. Got some speed. Now the pace of this race is a little bit muddled. Jose Ortiz probably takes the initiative here. I mean, he's been being pressed and dueled through hot splits. I don't see anybody running with him today, especially with my top pick taking the blinkers off. Jose breaks running here, and he wants to be aggressive, and he knows how to read a racing form. I think he's loose and controlling in here, and maybe that brings about the best of Sir Ali. The 4 is Copper Master. Haven't seen him in a little bit. It's Rohan Crichton. It's Irad Ortiz. That's the big plus. The big negative is you take underlay prices on these guys. And this is a horse now, 3 starts in a row, hasn't done a lot of running and no speed either. That's a real worry in a race like this. He's been lagging, and that's not going to cut it at a 1-turn mile here at Gulfstream Park, where fields tend to get stretched out a little bit, especially if Sir Ali's controlling. Listen, we all love Noble Drama. He's a cool old dude. Dave Fox has done a tremendous job with him. He is so up against it today in a race like this, void of early speed. They keep betting him. We keep rooting for him, but he just runs out of ground. It's been a long time between drinks for the old guy Noble Drama. He's won for his last several, and you got to play against a horse like that. 3 down, 6 to go here on Gulfstream today. When we come back, it's Rainbow 6 time, 2 1/4 in that estimated jackpot. Ron Nicoletti's got a ticket. Stay tuned.
Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to drf.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
And welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato with you. Another beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. We hope to see you out here. We've got a good 9-race card today. A good maiden on the turf coming up. The Rainbow 6, though, front and center here in race number 4. And as I said before we went to break, the estimated jackpot today, $225,000. And that's been a very, very honest number, these estimations. They've been spot on. Let's take a look as Ron Nicoletti is back on Rainbow 6 duty. We love that. He's got the playbook here for 4320. Excuse me, kind of like what he did yesterday, spreading a little bit late, a little tighter early on. You can see in race 5, well, I guess that might be his best bet, the Sword of Honor, and that was my long shot, which is out the window now with some scratches. So Ronnie's got the Pletcher first-time starter in there, and then you can see a 3x3x3x4. Late pick 4, and the spread is in race 9. We'll get his long shot coming up. I got a feeling it's probably in there. He likes to go late with his long shots, which, by the way, have been printing money around here. Ronnie's long shots have been big, topped by a 25-1 for Mike Trombetta. So there we go, 43-20. Let's get into the opening leg here, and we're going to finally show a replay after we lost one earlier on. We're on a 1.16 here on the Tapeta. These are 4-year-olds and up which have never won 3 races. The tag, $16,000. We've got a field of 7 in here. I want to bring up the replay between the 2 Spectro, the 6 Endless Sunset. We can see it here. Spectro's down on the inside. The rail, I don't think there was any doubt that on this day, the rail was just not a good place. January 10th, the rail was not a good place to be. Spectro was down on the inside the entire way. I thought this was a pretty good effort. You can see him just get absolutely glued to the fence, never got off of it. And you can kind of see him here basically in a little bit of quicksand. And we see that more often than not on the Tapeta, especially on days or prolonged stretches where we haven't gotten any rain down here. The Tapeta tends to bog down on the inside, and Spectro never got off the fence that day. Well, the problem today is he's loose again in here, and that's great. But hopefully Luis Saez can get him off there, because it's just not a path to victory. Wiring routing on the Tapeta is not easy either. And then if you're going to be inside, it's a little bit of a problem too. And that's one of the reasons I went elsewhere. I could have went 7-2 in my early pick 5. I don't really think it does the bettors any favors by using 2 short-priced horses. You got to have an opinion. My early pick 5 was $18. You could play it for $1 with the 7. You could back it up for 50 cents with the 2. But Surrogate, I think, at the end of the day, is probably a better horse anyway. Win 99 was so good last time. So I don't really view this as a rise in class from 12-5 to 16. It's Bobby DeBona. It's Irad. You know, Bobby plays this game as good as anybody on the backstretch, playing these, middle level, lower level claiming races, and Surrogate is outside. Irad's not going to let the 2 get away from him early on, and I just think that puts Surrogate in a really, really good spot. So I just went 7-2 here. The gap to the 4 and the rest of them, Bring Her to Rain, is probably a pretty big one, but I think getting back to the Tapeta is a good thing for Billy Therinos, he's run some good horses that just haven't gotten the job done, have been a little bit unlucky as well. But Bring Her Rain, I think, is in the mix, but I think it's probably more for a minor award today. Race 5 kicks off with a good one now. It's a maiden special weight, that tricky 7.5 on the turf here for the 4-year-olds and up. It kicks off the late pick 5 as well. Before we get into it, let's take a look at Samantha's sequence. There's some key scratches in this race. So she's just singling the 9 in here, Fly Right, another single in race number 6 of the 3, and that's an odds-on horse right there. For some reason, was 4-5 on the morning line. There are a quartet of scratches in there. Don't be surprised if he's 1-9 in there. Now, much like Ronnie was doing in his Rainbow, she's going to go 3x5x4 in her early pick 5. I know she'd never play that pick 3, but in her, late pick 5. But that way you can do it here, especially when you got 2 singles off the rip $30 for her. So let's get into the fifth now. There are some very key and important scratches. The 5 Storm Ready is out, who is a very tepid favorite on the morning line. The 7 Party with Smarty is out as well. He was a long shot, and the other long shot, the AE Tis a Duke, is out too. So we take some starch out of anybody you like and some prices as well. I've already mentioned it. The 3 Sword of Honor is my long shot. That's long gone, and I already mentioned I don't want to see him as a long shot. That would not be a good sign. Todd Pletcher had 2. He's going to scratch the 5. He's going to run the 3. Let's look at the stat first before I forget it for Todd Pletcher with first-time starters. This did work with both of them, but now it's just Sword of Honor. Just 8%. That's wild. First-time starters on the turf at Gulfstream the past 5 years, 8%. This is a Hall of Fame trainer that basically is in the low 20s with everything he does. So take that note, food for thought. But I want to show the replay workout here that I pulled up. This is January 14th. He's working in company with Joyful Lass, who came back a week later to wire on the turf, okay? So he's working with a nice filly, admittedly, but I like what he's got going on here. He's down on the inside, well within himself. Ears are pricked here. I thought this was a very, very solid work, and he's going to back it up, too, with a couple bullets as well at Palm Beach Downs. This is at the over our main track right here at Gulfstream Park. I like this effort, and he seems to be really coming along nicely. He's a half to Angel Blue, big turf pedigree, earned almost $800,000. There's a lot to work with here. Now, getting started at 4, not ideal, but you can see from the works, and he hasn't missed a dance in the morning in quite some time. I think he's ready to roll today. Probably, unfortunately, we're going to get a smidgen of that 6-1 now with the scratches. Malibu Springs, boy, did he run well getting to the turf last time. Alexis Zorba, don't forget now, came right back and ran a cracker of a second facing winners. I think that's a very live race that Malibu Springs comes out of. To me, Malibu Springs is clearly the horse to beat. If he runs back to that race, he's a huge threat in here. Mount Orib got to the turf last time. He gets help now by a couple scratches, bringing him to the inside a little bit. Big effort on the turf last time. I think Samantha's got her best bet. Don't quote me on that, but she's got Fly Right singled. I just worry this is going to be a little sharp for Fly Right. He's getting to the turf for the first time for the Fernando Abreu. And Treadway Racing. He's got good turf form. I wonder if he wants a little bit longer. We'll see what we get today, but she's got him singled right off the rip in her late pick 5. Race number 6 is late pick 4 time. Let's take a quick look at my ticket in here. It's going to start out with, like I said, just a monster favorite, and for some reason is going to be a very, very short number on the maybe 1 to 9 in there, and then you can see spreading in the next 3 legs. Race number 7 is the 7. For me, on top there, Dubstep. Race 8 is the 6, and that is the Thrill of Victory. And race 9 is the 5, and that is Frosted Faith on a $24 late pick 4. Race 6 gets blown up with the scratches. There was a late one as well. The 2, Cruising for Chaos. The 5, Pack Plays. The 7, Jiggery Pokery. And the 8, Nope Problem Joe are all out. There's not a lot to talk about here because for some reason, like I said, is probably going to be 1 to 9 in here. The race last time, if he runs back to it, a distant second to Shady World would literally lap this field. Onward and upward. Let's take the free square. Hey Harry is a big play against for me too. I think he's all sorts of dressed up off a race where he did run off last time, but I just think he's a play against, especially facing winners, especially being inside for some reason. Just not a lot else to talk about. Short price, Safi, Ken Ramsey, onward and upward. Race number 7 kicks off the late pick 3, and there's plenty to talk about here. We'll go $170 on the Tapeta. These are fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races. The tag is 16. A big scratch of the 4. Good, better, best. 7-2 on the morning line is out. I had her in 4th. I was looking to kind of fade her a little bit today. I've got the 7 on top in here, Dubstep. Let's show you the race last time between Dubstep and Bletchley Girl, the 7 and the 6. Dubstep is the 2. Bletchley Girl gets a really good trip here. She's getting first run, while Dubstep's, I don't want to say she's mired in traffic, but she doesn't really have a clear path of it now. She broke slow as well, and you can see Irad just kind of waiting, and what he's got to do is go outside. She was beaten ahead in here, and I think that's, clearly cost her the victory in this spot. I mean, Irad couldn't get her going until way too late. Bletchley Girl is fading. You can't play her today. It's all Dubstep for me, and I think she is in a good spot. Now, hopefully she breaks a little better today, but I think she'll be a problem for this kind of group. Now, Hits Different's going to offer a little bit of value here. We haven't seen a lot of Nick Gonzalez down from Woodbine this winter. Nick does a really good job. He's been coming down here for years, and he picks his spots. Now, Hits Different tried the turf in the main track last time in 2 back. She doesn't want to do any of that, but she can run on Tapeta. I know she's 0 for 4 here on the Tapeta at Gulfstream. She's got good Woodbine form. She's going to run on late. I think that's a little bit of a problem. It's going to be a bunched group in here. Now, I will say this. The complexion of the race changes quite a bit with good, better, best coming out. And so I added in the 5 in here. I believe in Magic because I think Paco is probably going to be able to control things now. And I would expect her to bet accordingly now because the complexion and the flow of this race really changes exponentially with the 4 good, better, best out of this spot. I believe in Magic. She's probably not as good on the Tapeta as she is on the main track. She's 0 for 5 here. She probably will control things with a brilliant gate and finishing rider aboard. She's dangerous now, and I moved her up to the top line. I will give a quick mention to the 1 stuck in Malibu down inside. She had a trip last time, okay? She was brushed, it says in the chart. I don't know how much running she was doing either, so just be a little careful there. She was beating a neck. Okay, it might have cost her, and she was DQ'd. I don't think she was ever winning. I don't think Junior Alvarado ever had to stop riding either. So now she's on a rise today. And I don't think she should be in at this level. I don't think she should have been DQ'd. So just be careful there. She's up against it here today. That's why I put her a little bit underneath. The 8th is a good one. Kicking off the late double here. We'll go a mile on a firm turf course. It's a 25 starter here, 4-year-olds and up. A long shot scratch. Came in a little bit late of the 8 assiduously. The gang is all here. Let's show you the gang. It's Swashbuckle. It's Stride. It's Born a Gambler. They're all back. Malik is in the back. Assiduously is out. I don't know. They all kind of ran okay. They all kind of could have run better. My best bet of the day was Swashbuckle. He could have run better. He was dreadful. I don't know. Stride was okay. Born a Gambler doesn't want to win. He's probably in over his head a little bit. They all ran okay. It's fine. They're all major contenders in here. The point being, none of them were close to Sonic speed that day, right? They all kind of take turns beating each other a little bit. And whoever you like, none of them have any upside. They're all going to run the same kind of race, and they're all going to be favored, take money, be underlays. So I didn't pick any of them. I think this is a perfect type of race where when the gang is all here, you look for someone that's not part of the gang. And that's the 6th Thrill of Victory, who's now going to run on the turf for the first time in 3 starts. Pete Walder claims him for 16. Boom, on the turf. Boom, in a spot where he can't be claimed. I like that a lot. I love the job Pete does as well. And this horse has been rolling now. He's won 2 straight. He's done it on the Tapeta, but he's got okay turf form. He's got to win on the turf. Paco rode him last time. Paco's here today. Paco will be aggressive. I don't think he'll be on the lead, but he'll be 2-path, 3-path stalking or pressing and going to get first run on a few of these off the far turn. I think that's a good spot to be in. And he could be a little bit of a price as well. And like I said, maybe most important at all, he's not coming out of the January 18th race where we just saw the 4 Stride. We just saw the 5 Born a Gambler. None of them are overly inspiring in this kind of spot, yet there'll be underlays on the tote board, and I think you got to play against them. I mentioned Swashbuckle. He'll be on the lead again. He was my best bet last time, and he was not good at all. They didn't bet him last time. You know, Melnick ran okay that spot. Here's the thing, though. You go back, we showed you the replay. He was not 8 wide in that race. People are going to look at that. He was never 8 wide. He tipped out. He wasn't 8 wide on the bend. He tipped out off the far turn. He didn't lose that much ground. Don't lose sight of that. That's one of those spots where you got to do the work a little bit. He didn't lose that much ground, and he was never 8 wide. Race number 9 here, 5.5 on the Tapeta. These are 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races or a race since August 15th. We're at that 6-month point. The tag's a quarter. Big scratch in here of the 7, Uncle B. He is out. Big scratch. He was the second choice on the morning line, so the value kind of comes out of this race a little bit. I had him in third. I didn't want to pick him. Frosted Faith, let's watch him now. He didn't have a good trip of it at all last time in a spot where Volker and Amaury Lejour beat him. Here's the start. Now, he's a horse that wants to be involved early. Right away, breaking slow from the rail, he's out of his comfort zone. But he's trying here. Here's Volker. Here's Amaury Lejano. They both beat him. But Frosted Faith is trying. And to his credit, I mean, this is a veteran, 3-time winner. Let's just break today. We're in a much better post today. He threads through, and he's giving it an effort here. And it's over here, but he tried. He wanted to run on. Here's Jam Session down on the inside, gutting it out. I want to break running today. I want to be outside pressing, which is what Frosted Faith wants to do. And then I think he's in a really good spot. I think he can turn the tables on Volkert. I think he can certainly turn the tables on Amaury Lejano, who's a big long shot, and it was a big long shot last time. Again, prices are tempered with the scratch. Certainly Pico Doro not coming out of that race, dropping and out of much better races. The No Deliberation race, Outlaw County, Competitive Saint, those are good horses that would be favored in this race. So he is too, but twofold now. He's on the rail, and he doesn't have a lot of early speed, and he's going to be a short number too. So, you're allowed to try to beat horses like this. I didn't think he did a lot of running last time either, and it was a good group. But look what happened last time too. He was down on the inside, and he broke pretty slow from the rail. That happens again today. He's going to be spotting a pretty good group, several lengths, and that might not be the path to victory. So a little tricky card here, especially that last pick 3 on this sequence. That's the type of sequence that really blows up a rainbow. There's going to be people singling or being tight early, spreading late. So it's a good sequence today. The late 5, the late 4 are as well. Those tickets are out there, all of them. They've been updated. We'll talk about them throughout the day on Twitter and all that good stuff. But before we leave, let's take a quick look at the lightning round. Kind of a tight one, but we showed it to you yesterday, the bobbleheads, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is a great cost. $25 for the bobbleheads. Tyler, the Hall of Famer John Velasquez, Irad, and Jose Ortiz. Signed bobblehead from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Breezeway. And don't forget now, this is while supplies last. So get here early. They're already signed. $25 goes to the PDJF. And these men and women put their life on the line for this great sport. And this is a great cause to give back to them, to support them, the dangers that are involved in riding. It's a great cause. We hope everybody does that and supports them. And you get a cool bobblehead. We showed it. We'll have it out here again today as well. I had the Jose Ortiz bobblehead. So you can see those 4 guys there. They're already signed. And you get an autograph from, we got 2 Hall of Famers there, and we got 2 knocking on the door. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So pretty cool. Support a great cause. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Breezeway here at Gulfstream Park, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Breakfast Saturday as well. Samantha Perry, we've talked about this. This is really cool as well because Samantha knows the backstretch as well as anybody, and she's on horseback for breakfast, kind of just scoping it all out and telling you what's going on. The horses are in training at that time, working out, and there's no better voice than hers to kind of talk you through that because she's experienced it, and she has just a great knowledge on what goes on, and you get a breakfast out of it as well. The tram will take you around the backstretch too. You can see what's going on there. So every Saturday, but now Florida Derby Day, 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. My best bet today is a little bit early on the card in about 29 minutes, actually. The one, Subtle Faith, 2-1. We'll see if we can get that. There is a scratch in there. Let's take a look at Samantha's best bet. I wonder if it is in that turf race. Yeah, it is. This is a bold best bet. Fly Right in race number 5, the 9 horse, 6-1 on the morning line. That'll get tempered a little bit by a couple scratches, but there should be some value in there. My long shot will not be value because he's in race number 5 as well. Sword of Honor, his stablemate is out. We might be looking at 7-2. We might be looking at 4-1, but that's a good turf race, maiden special way. Very key race in the making, I think. Let's take a look at what Samantha's got working here with her long shot, race number 4. Oh, that's a big number. Tepu in race number 4, 15-1 on the morning line, claimed by Marat Sankal. We showed you the Spetro replay earlier on. Hey, that's a good race to go price shopping, to be sure. And Samantha's got the early pick 4 and late pick 5 tickets as well. Ronnie's got the rainbow, and Pete Aiello has the scratches. And that rainbow, don't forget now, 2.25 in the estimated jackpot. Upstairs to Pete. We're happy to have you aboard on a beautiful Thursday here at Gulfstream Park, and I hope to see you out here. Be back for the opener in about 15 minutes.